Hi everybody, Sanbolane. Welcome to my channel. So you guys, we are going to do the review of episode 6 of Izingane Zesthembu, and we're going to start with the scene where Mpumelelo goes to see Ndabe. Listen, you guys, I don't know, I need to check what Ndabe's title is, but we've seen him in a lot of shows where he does like counseling, and he was on Ikumbi Lamakoskazi. I remember just being mad about the fact that the show was called Ikumbi Lamakoskazi, but then when it was time to give advice, then they would call Ndabe, and I was like, Ikumbi Lamakoskazi. Sometimes as women, we don't trust that we can do it for ourselves and for each other. Like, I was like, what is Ndabe doing Ikumbi Lamakoskazi? I just wasn't getting it. So we saw him there. And then we also saw Ndabe on Real Housewives of Durban, because I don't know what happened to Nonko's counselor from seasons before, but this last season, it was Ndabe that she went to see for counseling. And then, yeah, you guys, apparently it's very close to the Mselego family, and they say he knows a lot about isiZulu. Listen, you guys, now I'm always like, when people say they know a lot about tradition, because I feel like sometimes people rewrite my traditions, you know, and then they will say they are expecting it. But when you really listen to it, you're like, this one you made it up when. You made it up, this one. So yes, they say he knows a lot about Israel. So Mpumelelo goes to see him because his mom had recommended that he goes and sees somebody. And then, of course, they get into the 7 wives issue. Mpumelelo wants to take 7 wives. I don't know how he got to that number, because it says he wants 7 wives because you know you have a tanda abantu besifazane. And as much as I'm irritated by that reason for somebody to just say, yeah, wathanda mina abantu besifazane, engathi mhlambe abantu besifazane ice cream, I really like vanilla ice cream, so I'll get, 5-liter ice cream because I really like ice cream. As much as I hate what Mpumelelo is giving that reason, I love his honesty though. Because honestly, with all of these men that want this table, they always want to come with a decision. Amadlozi agiti, Anjani, the grandmother died, he needs a wife. The uncle died, he needs a wife. The preacher died, he needs a wife. So I must take another wife. No, I just love women. I'm a man that is not satisfied with just having one woman in my life. Ginomona, ginomhopolo, ginenkanuko. So any woman that I see and I like, I want to take as a wife. Honestly, how much we would appreciate it more. Maybe we would even support umnagwezi if they would just come and be honest. But no. Umuzi kagogo empty. Hey, akazalanga ngani yena ugogo ke for umuzi wakhe. So that's why I'm saying I'm feeling like that about his reason, even though it irritates me, but I'm like, at least it's the truth, he's not making up some deep thing. So he says that because uyabathanda yena abantu besifazane, he decided to kubafaka emzini wakhe. The thing about okay, anyway, guys, let's continue. Then he asked a very important question of the use of the condoms. To use the condom, he says yes. And so I'm guessing condom for him to have 3 kids right now. He says that he even has them in the bag. And honestly, you guys, in that scene, I kind of feel like he had said no. Go watch that scene. I think he had said no, and then the producers were like, whoever was there, the crew was the cut. Listen, this is a national show. It's going to be playing in one of the biggest channels in South Africa. And in South Africa, we're dealing with HIV and AIDS right now. And I don't think it's a good reason for, with you having so many kids look up to you now, to come and say you don't use condoms. Because he just laughed when they asked him. He was like, And I was like, this one doesn't use condoms. This one, never. Open his bag right now. Open Mpumelela's bag right now, there's no condom. If there is packs of condoms that have already expired because they've been in his bag for a very long time. So I feel like they changed it, because even though he was saying he's using it, but he was laughing at himself, saying that he uses them. I'm like, he doesn't use condoms, okay? But I do get why they probably were like, it's not going to be a good idea for you to say you don't. Just say you do. And you guys, because how do they fall pregnant? They're 3 kids now, okay? Now, he explains the whole thing of how now he's got Mpumelelo. And I really think, you guys, everybody in Mpumelelo's life really thought Mpumelelo was going to take Mpumelelo as the first wife. And because from the family, like Mpumelelo is the one that is in everybody's lips. Kamselego and the people that know about Mpumelelo, And I feel like, I guess, Uvuyo did a disservice to herself in just making that assumption, but also everybody else did a disservice to her, because I think everybody spoke as if she was already a mamkulu when she wasn't, and now she just cannot accept anything else. Then you guys, she's explaining the thing of, because okay, this is how what I got from his explanation is that since Mpumelelo left, basically he was looking for a replacement for Mpumelelo, because he felt like Mpumelelo in that position as number 1, she was going to do well in that position. So when Mpumelelo left, he didn't want to promote Mamtlupikas, because he feels like whoever is going to be the first wife should be the one that will support him. That's what it is. I'm just trying to make sense, guys, of it. It doesn't make sense. The explanation, it doesn't make sense. So then that's why he looked for a replacement. I do think, you guys, the thing of a virgin came about when Mpumelelo met a girl that was a virgin. I don't think Mpumelelo one day he was sleeping there by Mayeni's house and decided, because you know what, I'm a tonga, need a virgin. No, I think Mpumelelo, while he had umakamhluphekazi no maga singabako, he met uNosipho, because Velin, he has many girlfriends. He met uNosipho, and uNosipho just happened to be a virgin. Then he had to change his whole story now to suit the narrative of a virgin. And yeah, because he would, like, imagine right now, you guys, if Mpumelelo just had Vuyo and Tirelo, and he didn't have a virgin girlfriend, he was like, I'm looking for a virgin. No, he found a virgin first, and then he was like, okay, how do I fit her in? And I've said in one video that I think, because obviously if she is a virgin, uNosipho, she's saying, I'm waiting for marriage. He is thinking, if I'm going to pay lobola for Vuyo and then pay lobola for Tirelo, and then, how far is me having sex with this girl? So let me marry her first so that we can do the deed, and then I can just move on to others. That's basically it. If she thinks it's more than that, then angazi. So he's explaining that whole thing. Now, Ndabe asked him, okay, have you introduced the 3rd girlfriend, who is really your first girlfriend now? Have you introduced the first number 1 girl to the number 2 and the number 3? And he says, no, he hasn't done it. And there was his recommendation that he feels like he needs to sit down and talk to them, because we really haven't seen them talk about it. Tirelo was the one that actually asked Mpumelelo what's happening with that. And even then, Mpumelelo did not want to discuss the virgin thing. So he hasn't really spoken to his girlfriends about it. Now, Ndabe is trying to get clarity in this whole thing. So he says, okay, so are you saying that, if you take the virgin first, Madam Klopeka is leaving and Tirelo is leaving? He's like, no. This one is not going anywhere. Saying Tirelo. I was like, yo, Tirelo. Guys, listen. I was like, I wish that I was close to Tirelo, because I wanted to say, Tirelo, when you are in a relationship, your men must never ever be in a position where they are like, this one will never go anywhere. They must never, guys, Yay, your partner must have things that he knows. Even if you know when you would still stay, because I mean, after years, guys, sometimes it's very difficult to live. But your partner must know what if I do this thing today, or tomorrow would not be in my life. Even if you've been married forever and ever, but there are things that your man must know. What these ones, ngingenza anything, but uyabona lana, if I want to lose untando, this is what I would do in this relationship. There must never be a time where your man is like, this one is not going anywhere. Because when you're not going anywhere. Remember, that's a statement that Umseleko would say about Macele will never leave my side. You remember when Amakumalo was shading Umacele was, I dad. Pela when I never leave my side. She never left his side, but is she happy? Well, we don't know, because what we saw on the show was her being unhappy, but we don't know if that's a reality. So in order will via you, because when you are the one that is not going anywhere. And then people are out in the internet acting like Othirelo is in a better position than the rest of these girls because she won't go anywhere. I was like, I wish that wasn't what he believed about it. I like Othirelo, guys. And I do feel like, as much as most people believe Othirelo is not going on, I feel like she would be fed up at some point, because these girls are intelligent. But I just was like, I hate it for her that he thinks that about her. So now he also asked an important question on Ndabe to say, but the decision of his temple and the decision of how you're going to do his temple, is it your decision or is it your father's decision? Also, while you are doing it, while you are taking a temple, you have to constantly ask yourself, whatever it is that you're doing, is it your decision or is it Mosam's decision? And I think Ndabe can see what I saw in this episode, you guys. Because when Mosam Selego is sitting with Mpumelelo and they're talking about the fact that Mpumelelo had gone to see Ndabe, there is one thing that Umselego says to Mpumelelo, that angazi noma ufumukile when he said ukuthi vele uMakamhlophekazi can't be number one. Remember, you guys, Umseleko has been trying to convince us that he wants Makamhlophekazi to be number one, and he wanted Mpumelelo to take the two girls that he already has first before anybody else. But I had said from the beginning, when the virgin thing came around, I was like, this one is Mselego's idea. But he's been trying to pretend that it's not his idea, that it's on Mpumelelo's idea. But he says it in this episode that Mpumelelo can't be number one because she does not support his team. So he forgot that he's supposed to support Makamhlophekazi. Now he's the one that is saying it. Okay, Vuyo cannot be number one because the number one cannot question his team. We are watching, we are listening. But they are forgetting that we are watching and we are listening. So now I know for sure that the virgin thing was Mselego's idea because of that statement that he made. They are trying to find a way for Vuyo to not be number one. And also I do think, you guys, that they think amaXhosa ayazikhulumela more than Amazulu. That's what they think. So they think, I know, thola intombazane yomZulu. Anyway, you guys, so Mpumelelo says he wants to go to Joburg so that he can talk to them, but he still insists, you guys, he is not gonna take over as the first wife. But he can. When he was having a conversation with Umselego, he was kind of making it sound like he is saying he wants to start all afresh with this idea of his team, afresh, meaning that maybe he needs to rethink the whole thing. I don't know, the whole sequence. Anyway, you guys, what I liked about Ndabe was that he asked him about his finances. It says, one, if you're going to take Izithembu, you have to make sure that you have emotional intelligence, which he has none. And also your foundation in terms of finances. Why is it? Guys, if everybody around you thinks you don't have money, especially your parent, then you don't have money. I don't care what you say. If everybody around you thinks you don't have money, you probably don't, because they see you, they go out with you, they see who, they see you doing this when it's time to pay. So if people think you don't have money, now well. So I like the fact he touched on the finances part, but Mpumelelo says that he does have money. So you are saying he needs to rethink the whole temple thing, whatever. Then you guys, Umseleko was talking to Mpumelelo. I think Umseleko doesn't want Vuyo to be number one. I think it was his idea for Mpumelelo to look for a virgin girl, but the virgin was already there. But he still wants her to marry Umseleko, because I do think that he likes her and he likes the fact that and more than that, you guys, he wants to prove to us that thing that he has always said, which is, once you have a child, the thing that he failed to do himself, he's wanting Mpumelelo to do. Because he never married this Nes mom, he never married Pilo's mom, but he wants his son to do it. So he says that, she must, Mpumelelo must go a Joburg and speak to her, but he needs to learn to respect her and he needs to beg her. And even if Vuyokazi says no and leaves, she will come back. How? I was like, hey, how are you sure that she will come back? As long as engaqumi. And I was like, the interesting part, usaqomile already uvuyo. Nami shame, I would so go and qoma. I just would qoma a better man. I would so go qoma, I would qoma in public. I would so qoma in public. But I would qoma a better man than the one that she has chosen. Shame. If that story is true. Oh, shame. By the way, go to Ndabe later and check out the video that I did last night about that whole story of you having a girlfriend. Anyway, you guys, that was it for that scene. Ndabe, Mpumelelo, and also Mpumelelo and the father. I want to talk about the below scene because I did do another video where I talked about that. So you guys, now there was this whole fun scene that they did. They went to, what do you call it, a place where they spin cars. So they went there because Lwandle just wanted to, I guess Lwandle has a fascination with cars, and they were watching, do you call it a race when they are spinning cars? I don't know. And then there was this girl that got to Lwandle, was driving a car, spinning a car, and then had Lwandle in the car. I was like, yeah, you see Izingane Zesthembu. And then she was promising that she's going to teach Lwandle what. Nothing deep. They were just spinning cars. Nothing deep at all, you guys. Nothing. Anyway, you guys, that's all that I wanted to talk about on this episode. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Tell me what you thought about it in the comment section. Share the video with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers.